Fair enough. All right, I'm gonna start streaming here. Yeah, so last week, yeah, you kind of gave a pretty good recap, but yeah, eventually the group makes it to Thegvanrau and sort of escorted in by the riders that Nate had spotted before, which are um, a number of halfling riders. There's about 40 or so of them, plus a few interesting characters scattered about the camp. But yeah, Thegvanr is sort of a series of ruins that have evolved over time, and there's well, Desmond had an interesting run-in, or Amadorn had an interesting run-in with a guy with no eyes, or his eyes sewn shut,
Yeah, that was good.
as well as there was a little girl there um, saying
I did eat the cheese.
some eerie stuff. You did eat the cheese, so
It's pretty good cheese.
right. And Vathek was on his way to a meeting with sort of the, um, I guess it was Vig's cousin, Aisling. And what were you going to be doing during all this, Dara?
I was going to be dissecting and working with that thing that they brought me.
Okay.
You want me to do some rolls?
Yeah, make a medicine check.
Heal check, you mean?
Yeah, that one. So, yeah, you make short work of this thing. It's definitely one of those parasites that you've seen before. That was previously embedded in you, um, but it seems to have advanced quite a bit after embedding itself in the neck of this, what you presume to have once been human. The organs line up to be pretty much as you'd expect. There's something funky going on with the kidneys, and the spleen seems to have sort of disappeared. But um, for the most part, it's sort of the typical human anatomy inside, but um, something has definitely drastically changed along its extremities and face and head. The eyes are definitely not no longer human, though the basic anatomy is still pretty similar. There's some weird things going on with the cornea that you can't quite put your finger on. And then dissecting the brain cavity, uh, certainly the skull had changed shape and the brain with it, and so it's hard to say what kind of impact that would have on a person's psyche or their ability to reason or that sort of thing.
Can I roll to be terrified?
Oh yeah, you're definitely making a sanity check. So
Is it over that you fail?
yeah,
Yeah, I failed.
yeah.
That's the first time I failed in a long time.
Um, yeah, okay. Yeah. So lose 5 sanity.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
I wish I could lose 5 sanity.
You got to start performing more autopsies.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, we all had to make sanity checks. I think me and Desmond both passed ours and took like 1 sanity.
I think I failed with this because I have the same thing living behind my fucking eyes right now.
Yeah.
In your head, you hear, brother.
Exactly.
I am now down to 63.
Oh, that's nothing. You're doing fine. Um. So yeah, Bethik, you follow Vig up sort of into this central mesa area, where she was going to speak with Aisling. And there's Aisling says we can speak in a moment, but I'd like a moment alone with Bigfoot. There's something we need to discuss.
I bow, and as I'm walking by Vig, just to give her a shit, since that's our friendship, I give her like an, "Oh, how cute" look, and then wait outside.
Okay, and so it's not very long before before Vig comes out of the basically in the lower parts of this tower. They'd set up a number of canvas walls to kind of partition it off, but basically they'd set up something of a war room with a local map and different figures represented on it. And they leave you there and go back and behind one of the partitions. And it's not long before Vig comes out from behind the partition, and she's clearly very upset, and she sort of storms off, covering her mouth.
Well, I know better than to try and follow her, so I wait until I'm summoned into the tent. Tower.
Well, you're kind of in it, but they were behind one of the another.
Okay. Well. Okay.
Yeah.
So then, does he
Yeah,
also like?
so
Okay.
Aisling comes out a moment later, and she approaches and says, "I'm sorry for that, but Kai, her brother, didn't make it. He was
Veda kind of nods and he says, "Dead or lost?"
dead. We think it was. We think it was the humans who betrayed us in the north. They made some kind of deal to keep some autonomy, I think. And as part of that, they gave us up. And though they didn't give up Theg Vonro, we knew better than to tell them where we would be. They did give up one of our forward camps where Kai was, and we found his body a few days later.
Maybe I just kind of nods. Where do I know where they'd be talking about in the north?
No.
Like what the north? Okay.
Yeah.
So I like if I were to like, would I know even that like? Would I ask him a name? Like, if you were to give me a name, would it mean something to me, or is that just not an area that I'm familiar with?
Yeah. So it could be Cartney, Aricia. Cartney is really more east, but Aricia's kind of to the north. It could also be Weldrake, which is pretty far east, but Weldrake's kind of the seat of power for the human kingdom. So he might be referring to that, or she might be referring to that.
I just kind of nods somberly and says, for what little it's worth, you have my condolences and my sympathies. I'm ready to help out in any way that I can. Give myself and my companion Karagor time to heal, and we will ride out with one of your patrols. We can teach these riders that the warriors of Thigvana are not to be messed with, and are no longer to be hassled. Harried, I think is the word. Harried. Right, they said that they were being like picked off by riders, I think.
Yeah. So she nods. She says, we should talk strategy. We should get everybody together after Vegas had some time to calm down, and
that will be
go over what we know.
A bit of time then, but yes, I do believe that is a very good plan. I've seen her get, I would say, not even this upset, and she does take a little bit of time to calm down. If she has nothing to focus on, I've learned occasionally the hard way. She's very good at focusing upset at people and objects.
Aisling nods. She says, "Yeah, I heard much about her from Kai. Unfortunately, I don't know Vig quite as well as I'd like to." So,
There is
she starts to kind of go over with you on the map what the kind of the world outlook is like. So I'll move this back to the Riven Valley map here, or the West
Yeah,
Riven
this is the-
map. And I guess I'll move your little camp thing up by Stegvano. So she kind of starts to paint a picture that certainly they'd heard news about the fall of Astrakhan, and Northwich is definitely under control of the Lanlanari.
Ha, knew it.
But they definitely don't leave a lot behind to, let's say, as a rear guard. They're definitely pressing forward. They've thought for certain that they would be sending a detachment up to find them, but then yeah, clearly the riders rode out and asserted themselves as this is sort of their territory, apparently.
Mhm.
So I guess she starts to lay out some options, but she says that there might be a chance that Sutton is Sutton might have held out. They're sort of protected, and they weren't necessarily in the direct path of the Lanlanari horde, as she phrases it.
So Vatha kind of nods and says, they're pushing forward very quickly. They're not leaving much of a rear guard to protect, supply lines and what it's they've conquered. It almost seems like they're on some sort of deadline. I would not leave such unsecured flanks unless my goal was something that I must achieve at the utmost haste.
Yeah, she nods at this and says, "Well, this let's wait for our assessments and we'll gather our thoughts on this. I think for now, though, we should let you rest. We should all kind of gather ourselves, let Vig do some processing. We do have some riders that are still out that I'd like to hear back from. They were moving up to Lanuvium to get a better sense as to whether or not they still held."
Yeah. Vatha nods. And unless you guys have any other questions, I feel like that was pretty much you are dismissed. So.
Right.
As he squeaks away.
Yes, as I speak away one sec.
Okay, so Amadorn, what are you doing at this moment?
Planning on abducting any children?
No. Matt, do you remember what the kid said? Because I meant to write it down. I really did. I just didn't.
She said, "I can't remember how it ends. It just keeps starting over and over again."
Yeah, so is this kid around? Because I left the cave, right?
Yeah, she skipped out a little bit before you, and you didn't see where she went.
I'm just gonna like look around the whole place, see if I can find anything interesting or suspicious even.
Sure. So you don't find much suspicious. The camp is pretty straightforward. Um, there's basically just the one family, as well as mostly halfling riders on ponies, and their ponies are kind of grazing around the valley. You
Oh
notice
god, ponies.
the statues are sort of you know scattered around, looking down upon the valley itself. But for the most part, it seems like it's a pretty well hidden place. Um, the only thing that would give it away from sort of the rim, if you weren't looking directly down into the valley, would be the statues that are kind of scattered around. The there's a couple of people in charge of provisions, and they seem like they might have some things to trade, but that's kind of about it in terms of who's milling about. And it's actually a pretty serene kind of feeling as you look around. Um, Almost like this place is existing a little out of time from the world that you left as you were entering the the valley.
I mean, that's kind of what I figured when the old guy was talking about how this place was here in time and stuff, and it was a long time. I don't, man, that guy was creepy, but I liked him. I'm just gonna sit down and take in the serenity,
Okay.
because I'm assuming the people who look like they have stuff to trade don't have anything like really interesting.
Right. No, they don't.
Okay.
Where are you gonna chill out? Where are you gonna sit?
Um, just for scale, like how wide across is this really? Because I assume it's not 30 feet.
Yeah, it's probably. I mean, this isn't even really perfectly to scale. It's actually it's pretty narrow, but I'd say it's probably about 100 feet across in total.
Okay.
At that narrowest point.
Okay. I'm just gonna like go sit against one of the rock faces.
Okay.
Kind of
Like
lean back.
whereabouts?
Um, right here,
Okay.
like on this part of it. So like the narrow part.
And do you have actually make a what would that skill be?
Hey,
Thinking. Sorry.
Matt.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Make a we'll say dungeoneering check.
Ah, I have that.
Yeah,
You were looking at my sheet, weren't you?
I was.
I dungeoned for a 20.
You dungeon for a 20. You would guess that some of the buildings, particularly the towers themselves, are not locally sourced, as in the materials seem different from the clay that you would find in the ravine in the local area. These seem to be quarried stone, and probably from a place far from here, judging the kind of stone that you know about.
Okay. And
Um,
maybe I'm just gonna go sit in the tower.
okay, which tower?
The one I was close to.
Okay.
Because it has like this weird scaffolding foundation thing.
Yeah, it is sort of on stilts, and there's no clear way as to how to get up. There's what looks like a um, a hatch or something, or there's a hole in the bottom where you could probably prop a ladder, but it's actually quite a ways up. It's about 25 feet off the ground to get to it.
Can I teleport?
You could, sure.
I think I just broke your puzzle.
Well, obviously it wasn't a very well thought out puzzle if you could break it that easy.
But well, first, there's no ladder like obviously near here though, right?
No, not that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go bother the locals. I'm just gonna teleport, you know.
Okay. Just zoop right up.
Yeah.
How would that conversation go if you were to bother the locals?
You guys have a ladder?
Man. Yeah, I just gotta borrow a ladder. Why? You know,
Climbing towers.
yeah, probably going places I shouldn't go.
Okay, so you zip up, and you're suddenly in a room that it, I mean it's almost glittering with there's a lot of metallic inlays in the um, in the walls is sort of your first impression, and the inlays are in support of a lot of writing and diagrams that sort of make your mind reel. You've never seen these characters, you've never seen this diagrams. You don't know if it's math, if it's a story, if it's astronomy or astrology. It's it's beautiful, but um, you're not entirely sure what it is you're looking at. And it's on all the walls around you. There's a door to the outside. There's a couple of small windows that provide light, and the light that's pouring in is just reflecting all around, and it's sort of a dizzying effect as you take this in.
So I found the disco room. Is what you're telling me.
That is what I'm telling you. Yes, you found
Okay.
the disco room.
I like this place.
The other thing I'll note is that there's handholds. Looks like built into the wall. They've built something of a way to climb up to a small balcony.
What? Well, of course I'm gonna climb up to the balcony. I mean,
Okay.
they might as well just yell at me to go up there.
Okay.
Climb check or acrobatics, because I can flip up there if you want me to flip up there.
This would be a climb check, but yeah, well, it's actually kind of high up there, so go ahead and do that.
Aha! 12.
All right. It's about it's again another 25 feet or so to get to the balcony, and you actually have to stoop down when you stand on the balcony so you don't hit your head. But you do get a view down into the into the place that you just were, and some patterns sort of begin to emerge as the light drifts through the windows. Just the subtlest shift in the light seems to change the patterns, and basically you're starting to wonder if your eyes are playing tricks on you.
Okay. So I'm supposed to read it, probably, but I don't know how, or if there's like a message or some kind of a certain time of the day? Like the like little changes in light from the sun are changing what I'm seeing, right?
Right. Exactly.
What time is it? Like in game?
Uh,
About.
yeah, I would say it's getting on towards sunset, so probably, you know, 5 o'clock.
Um.
There's a small door on the balcony that leads out to sort of a widow's walk.
Okay. Well, take a peek out there. Is it just like a
Yeah,
regular?
it's a small ring around the top of the tower, if you will.
Oh, so
And
this little tower is actually kind of correct, almost.
yeah,
In
about
oh,
in its construction.
that's cool. But it's not like a very wide walkway, right?
No, it's not.
Okay, so I'll take a little lap around, see if there's anything interesting I can see. But if not, I'm just gonna go back inside and sit on the balcony and watch the walls because they sound cool.
Sure. You think that we'll make a perception check.
I can do that. I perceive for 31.
Yes, you perceive all the things. So you're pretty sure that this tower and the other two are all the same height. This one being set directly on the canyon floor rather than on a little plateau. It um, is the taller of the three, but their absolute height comes out to be about the same.
And if I look over at the other towers, it just looks like a tower.
Yeah, well, all of their um, windows seem to be kind of facing the general direction of the other two. Like the little widow's walk that you're on, the door faces the direction of the other two, I should say.
Yeah. Huh. So like what? And you said there was another door like on the main floor to the outside?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go back inside. I'm gonna keep. Can I keep the door open to the widow's walk?
There's no door.
Oh, it's just like a little hole.
Doorway, really.
Yeah. Okay. And I'm gonna go back inside, go down, and open the door to the outside.
It was open, so
Oh.
there's no.
Oh, they're both doorways. They're all doorways.
Yeah, they're empty doorways.
Oh. I'm confused. There's. Hmm. I feel like I went to the wrong one to go to first. And there's nothing on like when I go out the doorway on the main floor. There's nothing around the tower that I can see. It's just the other towers.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, you can't really discern anything else.
Okay, I think I'm just gonna sit in the tower, like in the main room. Just sit down and look at the walls and see if anything changes. Because like maybe when the sun goes down, something will change.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, it
I'm
puts
not
on.
telling anybody I'm here, by the way.
Okay, it puts on an interesting display for you. Certainly, psychedelic in some ways. It's not any sort of visuals that you've ever experienced, really. The way the different angles of the inlays reflect off of each other as the light streams through and gets lower, certainly the higher reaches of the room also start to participate, and there's lines, there's probably messages that are passing by, minute to minute even. But to you it's all gibberish, and you're just drinking it in.
Hmm.
Okay, so Vathik, what are you gonna do for the evening hours? You still there,
I
Nate?
pretty much, yeah, sorry, I had to mute myself.
Okay.
Pretty much, check up on Karagor, see if maybe Durr could toss him a bit of healing. Other than that, just kind of patrol around camp a little bit and then find a place to curl up. If I run into Vig, I would check on her, I guess.
Okay, yeah. So you find Vig sort of on the edge of camp, not too far from where Amadorn's having his trippy experience. Sort of down in this area.
Mm-hmm.
And she's kind of pacing back and forth. She looks like she's shaking. She's so angry, perhaps.
So I just kind of walk up, kind of hoping that she'll notice me so I don't startle her when I, actually get to her.
Yeah, she stops and kind of looks over her shoulder at you. She says, Aisling told you.
He did? Or she did? Aishling's a she, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I nod, saying she did. And for the little bit of worth and for the no good it's going to do, I'm sorry.
She takes a breath to steady herself. She says, well, so what do you want, Vathik?
Just checking up on a friend, Vig. You seem very upset, and I've noticed that when there's no stabbable or punchable or squishable objects nearby for you to take that upset out on, don't always process it as well.
She, you notice she's got a hand down by her side. She's clenching a fist real tight. And she looks back and says, well, Aisling certainly seems stabbable, but I think I'll spare her.
I would definitely leave the stabbing of any allies potential or established until after this whole war for the world is over. After that, free to do as you please, as far as I'm concerned. I plan to retire.
She nods, sighs a little. I'm gonna work this out, Vathik. We're gonna get revenge on these bastards.
We will, Vig. Make sure that they're aware that there is no better friend and no worse enemy than a Pale Reaver.
She nods. So, she seems sort of in a.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Couple
trying,
hundred
I'm
feet
not
up to where-
trying to super push her to talk, but I mean, I can basically I spend as much time as I can, kind of just making light conversation,
Right.
and kind of trying to cheer her up a little bit, just or if she just needs to yell at someone, vent, I guess, whatever. Vatic doesn't have much better to do, so.
Okay. Yeah. So, Dura, back.
Hey, Matt, can you do a quick favor for the viewers? Can you switch to the talking section so they can see the roles?
Right. Get it. Yeah. So Dura, what are you up to?
I want to see if I can figure out a timeline of how long it took for this thing to fully change from a human. Because right now I'm terrified that I'm going to turn into one.
Yeah, that would be difficult for you to ascertain without some sort of direct observation. Um, so
Are you sure my test subjects are still are dead?
they pieced out. They left. So you don't know if they're.
I personally saw both of them killed at the Siege Master game.
So I am going to go for a quiet walk to clear my head.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, one of the halflings kind of came upon you as you were doing your dissection, and sort of let out a whimper and walked away. So yeah, you're gonna clear your head.
Yeah, I'm kind of terrified. I don't know how long I have. Kind of just freaking out internally. So a walk to clear my head would be nice.
Sure. Okay. Um, make a perception check.
31.
All right, another 31. Yeah. So as you start to wander around, whereabouts are you going, by the way?
I want to check out this little.
Okay, you kind of head to the furthest reach of the canyon. And
Where was I, by the way? To start with, like in the thing.
yeah, you were down by like the fire.
Yeah, so I'm going that way.
Okay. And yeah, so as you start to move that in that direction, your vision, um, sort of the sky, even though it's getting blocked more and more by the canyon wall, you're back far enough for the moment to sort of notice that there's a kind of the spidery bug-like effect that you had before, kind of up in the clouds that are kind of getting lit up now by the setting sun.
So Vathic wasn't crazy, because she didn't see it. She didn't actually witness it. She kind of just like, Vathic, sure you are. It's just the stress.
Right. Well, you just went through something stressful yourself, so maybe
Maybe I'm suffering too.
perhaps.
Where exactly would this be? Like, how close to us would it be?
So it looks like it's about at the mountain range that the canyon sort of butts up against. Probably at least 5 miles away.
That's kind of troublesome. So
Well, it's up in the
I
clouds, but the clouds do kind of meet up with the mountains at that point.
I'm gonna go look for Vathic.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
all right. So Vathik, on your way back from trying to talk to Vig, you bump into Dura.
Vathic? If you want to be on off mute, please.
He's still muted. All right. Yeah, we'll wait until Nate. Well, let's see. We can switch back to Amadorn for the moment. So
Oh, well.
Amadorn, the sun gets lower and lower, and the effect is dizzying, to say the least. Make a sanity check.
Aha! I knew I could do it. And I fail.
Okay. So
Hello.
you lose 4. Hey, Reston.
Hello,
Welcome.
Rest.
So
That
what's that?
that was Nate running away, going
Oh.
offline.
Nate went offline?
Yeah.
He's still on roll 20. Maybe that takes a moment to catch up.
Maybe his power went out or something.
That's actually a good possibility. And you know, I should keep an ear out because my plow guy might come at any time. I might have to move my cars. So we might have to take an impromptu break at that.
I think it's far more likely that I showed up and he just dipped because.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably true. Yeah. So you haven't. Were you here last session, Reston?
Yes.
Yes, you were. That's right. So you haven't missed too terribly much. Vathek learned that Vig's brother Kai is dead. Learned that from Aisling, Vig's cousin. And Amadorn is sort of getting trippy in one of the towers. There are all these metal inlays that are creating patterns with the light as the sun sets. And he's losing sanity because of it. He lost 4 sanity, by the way.
God damn it! I have to do another session with him.
No, we don't. It's okay. I'm only at 38.
Nathan, you're here.
Yeah, my Comcast is being like a shit piece of garbage. So my internet has been going on and off.
Comcast, like the sponsor of this
Yeah.
stream, right?
Never. I have integrity and no internet. So.
There you go.
Button.
But yeah,
Nathan.
if I drop, then I'll be right back. It just takes like a couple minutes.
Sure. So
Nathan.
Yo.
yeah, so Dura was on her way back from looking up at the sky and seeing something funky. And so on your way back from talking to Vig, she bumps into you.
Vathek.
I look at you and raise an eyebrow.
I kind of run up to him, grab him by the shoulders, and kind of start pulling him towards, kind of closer to where I was before when I saw it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pulling you against your will. Be like.
I mean, Vathek has nothing better to do, so he just kind of like follows along.
I kind of take him to the clearing and I point to the sky right between the mountains where I saw the you know the last the cloud thing with the bugs in it
Mm-hmm.
that I kind of called you crazy about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're very close.
Is it still there, Matt? Can I see it?
You don't see anything but some clouds, and the sun is setting, so it's actually a pretty orange set of clouds.
Okay. I mean, I'm just gonna go along with what Vig says because, or not Vig, Dura says because I think is too tired at this point to really put up much of an argument. But
Do
mostly, I
still
just
see
kind of
it?
nod.
Yeah, you still see it, Dura.
But it's right there between the it's like what 5 miles out.
Matt, did you say that mine looked more like tentacles or like what? Like I know that I don't see what she's seeing, but like, did you describe it to me in the same way? I can't remember.
So what you saw was basically a few tentacles and one in particular reaching down towards the ground. and it seemed like there was some sort of black looming figure in the cloud itself.
Yeah.
What Dura's seeing is sort of it's like there are bugs crawling all around and inside the cloud. It's sort of a almost like a static-like effect around in the cloud itself, and it's sort of a product of her enhanced vision.
Yeah. So I just
Is-
kind of nod. Ah, yes, the shifting and writhing of shapes in the clouds that I was clearly delusional about earlier.
Well, I'm sorry. I believe you now. And you kind of notice that she's really, really shaken out.
So I
Oh.
kind of like,
That thing you brought me. You, it was the same thing that they put inside me.
yes, I do believe that even my, just from fighting them and the basic shape, we were able to discern that they were at one point human. I doubt that it's a very swift transformation, though. I wouldn't worry. I'm sure that we'll be able to remove your parasite before it becomes too much of an issue. Adequate. Dara opted not to get hers taken out, right?
They couldn't take mine out.
Okay. For some reason I thought you didn't want it out. Okay. Yeah. So, to change so drastically would take. I doubt that you'll be waking up tomorrow looking like some kind of abominable sea land creature.
Vathic, if I do start to turn, that is, please just put me out of my misery.
Vathic, kind of like takes a joke, like an over-exaggerated, like, oh, then pulls out an arrow, and as he's like kind of carving your name, and he goes, "I would never dream of such a thing," and then like folds it so that you can see it, and gives you a smile, like trying to lighten the mood a little bit.
I pat him on the back, and I kind of take one last glance at the sky before kind of walking back to the camp with him.
Good. And Magnus comes to you. What have you and your dog moles been doing?
Well done.
How much time has passed exactly since we got here?
So it's been a few hours. People are kind of getting acclimated to the camp, and people are just kind of meandering around Amadorn's, seeing men with no eyes and hallucinations inside of one of these towers. So
Yeah, that sounds like fun. I think Magnus would have headed for a hot meal and something to drink.
okay. The main gathering is sort of in this eastern portion around the fire. There's a couple of tents set up. It's where the ponies tend to be fed and brushed down and things like that. And a few people have taken up residence inside of these old huts. There's
Oh, Matt.
Yeah.
Real quick, sorry to bother you. I just realized or remembered if my two dudes did run away, they're kind of infected. I remember giving them infected blood or from the things.
Yep. Haven't forgotten
Yeah, just so you know.
that. your test subjects, might come back to haunt you one day. You never know. Or thank you. Maybe they'll be happy, weird lizard people. Yeah. So as far as food goes, it looks like people are starting to gather for the evening meal, and they're roasting bunnies, and the game looks pretty meager, but it looks like one of them caught a doe or snared a doe earlier that day, and as far as they managed to forage some decent looking herbs and things, and are making some stew, and so
Right.
and they're trying to keep their spirits up, playing games. Looks like they're playing some kind of game of horseshoes, as I mentioned last session, and some
Well,
of them are
Magnus is
gambling on it.
starting to feel guilty about going over there to take food from the people who are foraging for survival.
Well, I mean, they all seem pretty capable people, um,
Yes.
and they do offer you some.
He's not gonna say no. Thanks a lot.
Sure.
How long have you folks been here?
They look at each other and shrug. Say, well, when we're not out riding, we've been out of here for going on a month now. So, and then, gets on towards the evening. Amador, the sun has set. The stars are out now, and things are a bit more subdued, quite a bit more subdued in the room.
But nothing still jumps out at me as anything I could understand.
No, not in particular.
Only thing in the room
Make
is
a perception check.
Oh, okay. I perceive for 18.
Yeah, no, you're coming up short on any sort of point of reference for the inlays.
So yeah, the only thing in the room is the inlays, the doorway, the way up to the balcony, and then the little doorway again up there.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. I mean, it's pretty sparse. Like I said, there's a couple small windows that let the light in, but that's it.
Yeah. Okay. Oh god, now I have to jump down, I think.
You've been up here long enough. You could teleport down.
Yeah, you're right. I could. Well, first I'm gonna look around. Is there anybody around that I can see?
No. I mean, look around where,
Outside the tower. Sorry.
yeah. I mean, you can see the camp not too far away, and you can see sort of you can see Vig actually a bit to your west, and a bit to your southwest. There's a few halflings keeping watch.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna teleport down and walk back to camp then.
Okay.
When I get there, who's there? Is it still Magnus and the couple other
Yes.
halflings?
Yep. And I don't know, Vathik, are you going to be heading in that direction as well?
Heading back towards
Towards the camp and
Yeah.
food and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I would in a kind of roundabout way.
Okay. And Dura?
I'm going back to the little hut thing to clean up the body for the poor halflings.
Okay. So
I'll drag it out back and set it on fire.
smart. Okay. So there's some singing and dancing, into the evening actually. People seem in pretty good spirits, which makes Vig's demeanor, all the more, which makes Vig's demeanor just stand out, especially now that she's with her people. It seems as though she's a bit alien to this culture that is generally pretty jovial. It seems, at least in these outriders that you know. Aisling, after a time, sort of gestures to Vathek, and she says, gather your minds, if you like, whoever you think should be in on the planning. I think we can get Vig and begin to talk and go over things.
Okay, so I grab pretty much everybody from the party, because they all have something to add. Kaylee as well, because she knows the most about
Sure.
the stuff.
Okay. And so she takes you back up to the mesa and sort of the war room, and kind of starts to go over the map. And she says, "Well, here's what we know." She says, "The horde has passed. The Lanlanari are definitely in the east. We don't know how they're supplied because, to Vathek's point, they aren't leaving much of a rear guard. We do know that they have taken Northwich and Cartnay. Aricia further east, we're presuming, is fallen as well. But we do have some information as to where a certain detachment of the horde has gone. There are a few mercenary companies working with the horde, and
Vathek kind of bristles a little bit.
we think they are laying siege to Gilremore as we speak."
Gilremore?
Yep.
Okay.
Is there any chance that my eyes are pointing me somewhere, like a dark spot on the map or something? Because I can't, like, the thing that is in my head does some weird things with my sight, so I was just wondering if it would point me somewhere.
No, I don't think that it's
It's pretty useless.
yeah. But what's brought us to Thegvanro is we have been searching for a temple in these mountains. We think this is where they starforged Goadrun, and you'll probably remember that Goadrun was the Theodron's big sword that everybody was afraid of. Also, the name of the last dragon years and years before that. But he and we have reason to believe that they brought the Goadrun back to the forge to be dismantled and into separate pieces, and we think that there may be some indication as to where these pieces now lie. We know that one of the pieces supposedly went south with some of our own people. We're still working some leads with that. But we have reason to believe that another one of the shards of Goadrun is somewhere in the near vicinity. And so hopefully we're going to find some evidence of that. There's some texts, we believe, at the forge that...
Well, I don't know about you, but I would much rather find shards of sword than go face the horde again.
Aisling says, we are rather committed to that mission as well. If we find one of these shards, though, we would consider other options. You know, adding to our mission if there are things that you're looking to accomplish. I guess I should ask what it is that you're hoping to do here.
And look at Vathic.
Say, to be completely honest, specific goal, we didn't have one. We were sent to Astrachan to try and hold off the siege there. Did the best we could, but Astrachan was, doomed before we got there. Any real fighting force had already been pulled out. Since then, we've been mostly trying to make our way back to some place that hasn't already been, swept away by the horde. If we need to find these shards of the sword, then so be it. So, but one of these bands that are assisting them, the Black Hand, I will kill Jorman Voss. If I have to go alone while everybody else goes for the sword, so be it. I understand.
Yeah, Kaylee chimes in, and she says, I don't know where Mathis has gone off to, but he should probably be here. But
Mathis has been gone for like weeks, right?
right.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that I didn't forget that he was here and just now he's missing.
Right, no. And, but she says, but we seem to be of the opinion that if Jorman Voss falls, that some of the orc tribes in the area and other mercenary companies may be able to come together to fight the horde.
I don't see why not. They'd certainly be in our debt for lifting some of the pressure being put on them. And I fought the Black Hand before. Generally tend to be more bandits with a united tabard than actual soldiers. You cut off a little leader and most of them won't know what to do with themselves for very long.
Aisling points to the forest on the map and says, well, we did have reports of orcs resisting the spread of the Inotron. So we think that if there are any more pockets of resistance, they would be up in the forest.
Should we go to the forest then?
Aisling shrugs and says, well, as I said, we're focused on our mission, but if you can help us, we'd be glad to help you find your resistance, and we're no fans of this horde, and certainly we'd want to see if we can somehow affect these riders that have been picking us off. That's sort of the more pressing matter. I think we should think on perhaps a plan to get one of these riders in the open. And
your mic has been cutting off a little bit from me, Matt. I don't know if that's just my my internet, but
He has been cutting off for me too.
I'm sorry.
We should get one of these riders and what did you
Get
say?
them out in the open so we can possibly ambush them.
I agree. It seems that uniting our forces, I believe, would be a solid plan. It gives us more hands for our mission available. The mission that we're aiming towards overall with finding these shards also gives us a little bit more survivability should we be drawn into a conflict.
I actually agree with you.
Say I wouldn't be surprised, and as for my personal mission, I wouldn't be surprised if Jorman Voss was being sent to hunt down these surviving pockets of resistance. Man is always delighted in being a butcher.
Okay.
And when do we leave?
Well, I think the riders tend to come out at night. I think we're a bit behind the ball in preparation to try and do anything tonight. And again, I do have a set of outriders coming in from Lanuvium, so I would prefer to wait until we have stronger numbers and we can catch one of these dark riders out in the open.
Sounds like a sound plan to me.
All right.
Seems to be a sound plan to me.
Okay. Let's take a quick break here, since you seem to have a plan of action. But be thinking on what you want to do the following day, if anything, and then perhaps you can work on putting together a plan for an ambush.
Sounds good.
All right. We'll call it 5 minutes or so.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I need to get better armor. Hello.
Hi. I guess you heard me breathe.
Yes, I can hear you breathe.
I turned my microphone back on and I breathed once.
I gotta get better armor.
I haven't changed my armor for probably about a year.
I haven't changed anything because I don't never get enough money to do so.
I own a house. Forgot about it.
Are you paying your property taxes?
I mean, I haven't not been. I don't.
We're
No
gonna
one's
get a
sent me.
random encounter with the tax man coming to hunt you
Oh, yeah.
down.
I really want to bring up these disco room towers to somebody, but I don't know who to tell. Maybe I'll go talk to the old man again.
You know, if you're short on cash, you know, you could always just try stealing.
I
You're
am a
right.
rogue. I am a rogue.
I've stolen more than you have.
Well, maybe because I'm a better person than you. I couldn't even complete that without laughing. Says the
I mean,
person
maybe
that tried to poison an entire village.
I mean, I've vegetableized that one guy.
Magnus
You were
has
trying to
just
say.
stolen like 1,000
bet.
gold worth of stuff from people.
Yes, I'm
That's
gonna
how he
probably
bought
have to.
dog moles.
I'm probably gonna have to borrow money from Vathic.
The National Bank of Bathic.
I need the money because I need to get better armor.
No, I gave you 75 gold.
Thank you.
I should be
Welcome.
using.
No, I'm
my
just saying,
items
like,
as
you
a
already
rental
had.
property.
So I'll give you more. I'm just saying, like, you already have 75.
How much is it to masterwork?
I think you have to.
It's half the cost over, right?
I thought it was 100 gold on top of it, like the base price.
Oh, maybe. I thought it was like 1.5 times up, but you're probably right, though.
I don't know. We'll look it up.
I'm gonna get a masterwork armor coat.
Masterwork armor. Oh, this is armor. Oh yeah, I think it's different though for weapons and for armor and for arrows and everything is different. So this doesn't help. Oh, extra 150 gold pieces over and above the normal thing is in the core rulebook, but it's mat, so it's probably gonna be like 500 gold. And you're not gonna get 100 gold for a deer.
What? Excuse me.
It's just a shame you weren't around when we were in the dwarf place, because they were doing stuff like that.
Yeah, it's true.
And I'll have you know that Matt fucked up real bad and gave me like 150 gold for killing a deer once, and then had to convince me to go on any more quests. It's like, yeah, the archaeological dig has turned up some really crazy stuff, and I'm like, that's neat. I'll read it. I'll hear about that when they come back with it.
I gave you like 40 gold.
You gave me a lot of gold for that deer.
It was a lot of gold for a deer. I'll give you that. But
Matt,
I just remember the next quest hook. Everybody was like, everywhere around town was like, yeah, this, and I was like, that's cool. 18 whole gold, you say? Well, there's a forest full of deer about 30 yards that way, and I think I found my calling.
hey Matt,
yeah,
is there any? I just realized I'm a rogue. I can't do medium armor, without taking like penalties and stuff.
yeah, you guys are all dex-based fighters.
Yeah. So I was wondering,
It's a good mix.
is there any chance while I was here earlier, if I could get my my studded leather to +1?
How would you do that?
By talking to people that work
Plus,
with armor?
+1 is usually magic armor.
Are you talking about masterwork?
Is it? Oh, I've got masterwork.
Yeah, no, +1 is magic. So
Or possibly buy a chain shirt.
possibly buy a chain shirt. Well, they'll run.
Oh, masterwork chain shirt.
Yeah. Well, I mean, unfortunately, these would be like trying to fit into child's shirts.
God damn it, I don't know why my fucking mental image of Dura is a halfling, but like, I know every session we like, somehow it comes up that you're a half elf, and I like mentally tell myself to remember that, but every time we start a session, I picture Dura as a halfling, and I don't know why.
Fair enough.
Can rogues do medium armor?
I just checked, and they have light armor and simple weapon proficiency.
Right.
Damn it.
You can take medium armor proficiency as a feat, but yeah, you still take the dex penalties and stuff.
See, this
Man,
is why
this
I
sucks.
dipped into fighter.
Yeah.
Oh,
You can
wait,
level as a fighter.
I've got. Does Ranger do medium?
I'm not sure. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, because I got Ranger. So I could potentially buy an armored coat. It's just because we never have any place to can buy anything because everything's on fire all the damn time, so I can't get armor and shit.
It has been kind of a struggle since Bracklewhite to find any kind of.
Bracklewhite was a bunch of lean-tos.
There's-
That's why I said when we were watching your other game, it's so adorable in a town.
Bracklewhite was not lean-tos, but all their doors did face south.
True.
Those crazy people.
Could they potentially make an armored coat for me?
There's no forge here.
Oh God.
Yeah, you're kind of far from.
Anywhere useful?
Yeah.
That hide would seem more practical for your needs anyway.
I think she just doesn't want to get the shit kicked out of her.
I don't. Thank you very much.
Oh,
So
yeah,
that
but
is like. So,
hide
so
is just as good of an armor bonus and cheaper,
Oh, is it?
and it doesn't need a forge
Oh.
or anything.
I was unaware of that.
What is?
Medium hide armor.
Right. Okay. I was gonna. Oh, while I'm thinking of it, Vathic, what's the branch of the Pale Reavers that Vathic?
Skirmishers.
The skirmishers.
Yeah, which are more used as kind of like both skirmishing, but also, yeah, like in the case of like a big like, line the fields battle used for like flanking or like precision strikes and stuff like that.
And your mentor is in charge of which part?
Vathic's mentor was Feroy, who was killed by Jormund Voss. Now Vathic has been thrown into the
Right. Okay.
leadership position of that branch.
Right. But the other skirmisher lords, what are their branches?
The other like Reaver Lords, I mean, generally like what an army would need: heavy infantry, shock cavalry. Like each kind of section, and they all come together as almost like a triumvirate kind of thing,
Sorry, I
but
heard,
with more than one person.
I heard what Narnia would need. And
Yes, what Narnia
kinda-
would.
it-
We
it
actually
made a
have
lot of
talking
sense.
we have
Actually.
talking animals.
Well, so there
But-
are three branches. So skirmishers, infantry, and cavalry is what you're telling me.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
We can go with that.
Get it.
Generally, like one. I was thinking like one branch of whatever like kind of subdivisions and like a standing army would need,
Right.
and they all kind of come together to decide. There's a lot of autonomy.
Fair enough.
I think I put some of them in my backstory like sheet thing.
Yeah. And I was
Way
reading
to
through
fuck
that.
back one.
I was reading through that, but I didn't get the names
Yeah.
of the branches.
That's fine. All right, I'll do like a more specific write up of that for you for next session.
Yeah. If you could all actually glance at kind of your backstories, make any adjustments or anything that you want to do. I'm going to be taking another look at those. Or I have, and I will take another look when you're done. Okay.
So this is the next day now, right? The Dur is like going around looking for a chain shirt.
It's not gonna happen, so I'll wait till.
Vathic is like following around, kind of chuckling until finally, as it dawns on her that she can't fit into 3/4 people clothes. Vathic kind of like puts a hand on your shoulder and says, "Don't worry, Dura. When we go out after these riders, I will find the one with the most pristine chain shirt and shoot him in the face, as not to harm your new chain shirt that I will find for him."
Thank you. It's either that or I find grab these halflings and then tie them to myself.
So yes, that is more of an Amadorn probably kind of tactic of say the shells of these creatures do seem rather armor-like.
Speaking of, nice.
If we can find any more of that black full plate armored people, take some of that.
It's great defense, and it melds excellently with your skin. And
Yeah, it
So
melds right
like
into
you're
your
wearing
skin.
nothing at all.
Yeah, it's fine.
I mean, it'll be easy to clean.
Right.
I
you
just
rest.
noticed my character sheet seems to have lost all the changes I've made for the past 2 levels, so that's going to be fun to fix.
Oh man.
Good job.
I don't even know how it went
Um,
back that far because I've changed it several times since it's been this out of date.
It is really weird. Hey, Matt,
Yes.
with, like, for both myself and Karabor, with Dura and me, and I guess any halfling doctors making, like, some heal checks, do we regain any health for that night of sleep?
Yeah. So you can do standard 1 day's worth of rest and
Which
healing.
is a hit die.
And you
plus
find out
something.
all the halfling doctors mysteriously disappeared because only Dura is allowed to heal you guys.
Well, the other halfling doctors are afraid of Dura, so the medics are all giving her a wide berth.
So it's a hit die plus base attack bonus. Is that what it is?
Each night's rest, you gain HP equal to the roll of a number of dice equal to half of your level, rounded up. So it's the same as
Okay.
your hit die. It's basically rolling hit dice, but you don't get like a con bonus or anything.
Okay.
And then a successful heal check, which Dura would need to roll. You add HP equal to your base attack bonus plus your fortitude save.
I can only fail if I nat 1.
Right. In which case, we can talk about death saving throws. Just kidding.
That's a lot of healing.
That's for Karagor. Does Dura heal each of us or only one of us?
Who else needs healing?
Dura, you'd have to sacrifice a little sleep to heal everybody.
That's fine. I don't need it that much.
I'm not sleeping anyways because I'm still a little shaken because of the whole thing that happened. So I will devote myself.
The alien autopsy.
I'm only down 14, so I should heal up.
There,
Easily anyway.
All
take
right.
it.
Dura's healing everybody.
170. Okay, so I'm a 9th level now. So 4, wait, no, 5, 4, 5.
37. Jesus Christ.
Okay. Oh crap! I think I fucked up. Oh no, I didn't. Okay.
No, if that were Jesus Christ, he would have rolled a nat 20.
Yes, okay, 22. Goes back to a solid 89.
Jesus Christ is famous for his holy crits.
It's true.
Oh no.
Okay, I'm good.
All right. So now, if you guys aren't, well, I'm gonna ask who's intent on doing anything for the day, or is it gonna be mostly resting and maybe foraging a little, helping out around camp?
Yeah, I'll go out with a hunting party and try and bring in some more food for the camp.
Okay.
I'm gonna uselessly hunt for clothing that I know I can't get, so that's what I'm gonna be doing.
Where are you gonna be
We
hunting?
could just strap you in like full plate mail and have you be a heal tank. We just place you in the middle of the battlefield, and then you throw spooge at us.
Well, I will say that the body that you burned did leave behind a set of basically plate mail.
If she's not wearing that, I take it to sell.
I will be selling it. Thank you very much.
It would require a little bit of work at a forge to get it to fit on anything, really, but
You know, they could always
Good
use
scrap.
the metal for other things.
it's good
Yeah, I
scrap.
want to sell you some plate mail. Oh, this smells like the personification of evil. Where'd you get this?
Walmart.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Thanks
answers
for
it.
Walmart.
So, Matt, basically, I'm sorry, you can go, Desmond.
Sorry, I was just gonna say I want to explore the other towers.
Yeah.
what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be with. You're gonna tell me how to pronounce her name one more time. Leader of the halfling. Aisling.
Aisling.
Aisling. Okay.
Yes.
Aisling, and kind of just like we talked like grand, like this is our overall plan. I'm basically just gonna give her a rundown on the different kinds of banshee creatures that we've fought and kind of the best strategies against them.
Okay.
Like the generic ones, try to avoid conal formations, spread out around them, kind of hit and run, keep them distracted. The like dog spiders to aim for the parasite. Be careful of scaling. Basically, like I just go down the list of every kind of corrupted creature we fought, and just give her like strategies on how best to fight them, or how best for her men to fight them.
Okay.
And then Black Hand, I kind of give her the rundown on them as well.
So we gave you a profession.
Yeah, mercenary.
Yeah. Make that roll.
Okay, let me what that roll is.
Am I allowed to sell the plate mail to them?
No. Nobody's gonna touch that.
I don't think the VAV has like a merchant here.
Nobody wants fucking Walmart stuff.
21.
Okay. You feel decent about the wisdom you were able to impart to Aisling. All right, so Dura.
It was just a
I
roll
mean
to make
it-
you feel good.
I mean, it's only a little bit of blood.
It's not so much the blood. Well, you've burned away most of the flesh at this point, and the blood is mostly charred. But it's the bolts that look like they were screwed inward from the outside that would give anybody pause as to why is all this stuff poking into me while I try and wear this.
This is very hard for an enemy to take it off of you.
Yeah, it makes it very hard, but if you want, you could always melt it down for metal. You know how difficult it is to get metal around here.
So there actually is a guy who is stoking a fire to make arrowheads, and is melting some stuff
Ooh.
down. And he looks at the armor. He says, I can give it a shot, see if I can melt it. I don't. What even is that? Is that steel?
Can I appraise it to see?
Sure. You're a rogue.
22.
Could be steel.
I think it's steel.
It gives a shrug. I'll see what I can do with it.
It's going to blow up.
And he
Not my
says,
fault.
how does 2 gold sound?
I take it back out of his little hands, and then I hit him with it, and then I walk away.
God damn it, I swear to God, if everybody but me gets kicked out of this fucking town again.
Hey, I'm going out to help them get food. They're not gonna hate me.
No, you weren't here for that epidemic.
Yeah, I don't think I was actually kicked out either.
Yes, you were. 3/4 of our party of 4 was actively like APB'd in one of the towns that we were.
No, but I think the reason.
That was Crosswind Fell, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Yes,
the
it was.
reason that they didn't like me is because I was next to Zatima, not because I did anything.
Zatima just stole a bunch of fish and broke out of jail. It's not like she did anything bad.
Well, Zatima was a cat person, so that was 1 strike against her. 2 strikes,
But yeah,
really.
he tried to this guy tried to lowball me so hard.
On the fish.
No, on the freaking plate mail.
Well, who else are you going to sell it to?
He
Just
knows
gonna
his
lug it
position.
around.
Where else is he gonna get fucking metal like this? Oh,
You're just going to...
seriously, you're gonna sell this for or you're gonna buy this for me for 2 gold? Do you know where I got this from? Do you know what this is?
Oh God, this can only go well.
He's like, look, if I weren't pretty sure that we were on the edge of the end of days, I would probably take one of these arrows and shove it into your eye.
I would sincerely like to see you try.
Luckily, the gods gifted her with despair.
But I will take 5 gold for it.
Oh man.
4 gold, 2 copper, and this button.
Oh, can I see the button? Can I see the button?
He flicks you the button. It's actually a silver button, and it appears.
This is a nice button.
He's like, "Yep, I peeled that off of a man I killed about 6 weeks ago."
I peeled this off a corpse that I just burned last night. So we have a deal.
Was that what that smell was?
You'll get used to it.
He shakes his head and starts muttering obscenities under his breath.
And this button.
You have to take the button. You can't opt out of the button.
I have the button now.
Can't
That
turn your
button
nose
is
up at the
now
button.
plot.
That's right. Okay, so
And
Dura
I'm going
sold her
to
armor.
I'm going to tease Amadorn about the button as soon as I see him.
You don't see me. I'm going to the other tower.
I don't mean right now.
He's stealthing his way to one of the towers.
Amandorn's fucking best rogue checks are against this party.
Hey, you want? It's true. Do
That's
you want
true.
me to make one?
Are you stealthing your way to the tower?
I mean, does someone try to stop me when I try to go up to it?
Which one?
The one in the middle, like the is.
Like the towers
No,
that
not
you were
that
in
one.
last
Not
night.
the tower that you were in. No, this one.
Well, you've got to climb up to it first.
Yeah, I'll just go behind and climb. You know?
Go behind.
Yeah.
Behind what?
Over here. It's
Well-
behind the plateau.
Oh, I see. Oh, you're still talking about being stealthy. I get you.
I mean, unless someone tries to stop me.
I didn't know if you thought because of the perspective it would be lower to the ground or something. Right.
I could try to make the jump from here to here if you want me to.
I now have shiny button in my inventory.
Sweet. It's silver. You might want to note that. Go ahead and make your climb check.
Haha. 1D. That's
Do I see him doing this, Matt? I don't stop him or interfere in any way, shape, or form, but do I see him doing this?
What are you doing?
Well, would I be done talking with Aisling?
This is the following morning, so
Then, well, it was the wait. So this is 2 days after we arrived.
well, you sort of
Because the
arrived.
next morning,
Yeah.
after we were like, "Here's our basic goal," like the next morning, I went to talk to her about like, "Hey, here's how to fight
Oh yeah.
A, B,
Well,
C, D." Like, if this
Yeah,
is after that,
you would be over here at this very moment. You'd be over in the
Okay,
other tower,
okay.
and
Okay.
so he's kind of a little bit obscured, so you wouldn't notice really,
No, that's fine. Like I said, I was just gonna watch.
at least at the moment, and probably once it gets to the top, which with the 24, it's fine. You get to the top of the little mesa there.
awesome. Do I have to teleport up again, or is there a ladder nearby?
There's no ladder,
Oh, good.
but there
It's the
is
same-
a convenient little. This one is actually a little bit offset from the center, whereas the other one was directly in the center. This one seems to be closer to the leg on the western side. Just as a random note. And
Yes, the random note probably means something that I don't understand.
we never associated a skill with this teleport, did we?
No, we
No.
didn't.
I think it would be acrobatics.
Actually,
I mean,
it's more akin to perception, which is wisdom. So,
yeah, I'm very
That's,
wise.
by the way,
wisdom is your
what did
weakest stat
Amadorn-
as a party. I will note.
I mean,
Hey,
I'm at a
excuse
solid
me. I think I make up for everybody else. Thank you.
What is your wisdom?
16.
Oh, okay.
Hey, mine's 13, so.
I
Wow,
ha-
really?
Mhm.
Wow, I'm at 10.
Mine
Also
relies.
at 10.
Mine relies on wisdom though, so.
I mean,
And that, Amdorn, is why you and I are both in the 30 sanity area.
Actually, intelligence is your lowest score as a party.
yeah,
Fuck
no,
yeah.
that's a 10 as well.
I've got
You
to.
got a solid 14 in that.
I've got to look at your. I've got to revise these stats now that Dom is not a regular anymore.
Mine's a 9.
But
Fuck yeah.
Mine's a 12. And
It's
I'm
just
the
my dump
doctor.
they make T-shirts that are like that basically say "Wisdom is my dump stat." It's got like a 9 and a
There-
-1.
There's a reason that Magnus was smart enough to say no to that whole, deal that everyone was presented with.
Yeah, he's like, no, that's a crazy oath. I'm not taking that shit.
Hey, I didn't take it either. I now have a rank in Ranger.
It's true. You do.
yeah, but I can teleport better now.
If you really want to have Matt kill your character, pick a ant lion as an animal, or a big cat as an animal companion. It's more OP than Karagor is.
I actually have a sheep for a big cat.
You've just put a ticking time bomb under, or you realize it's right.
If you take an animal companion if you take a cat as an animal companion, I may make you take a reincarnated Zatima.
No, if I do take an animal companion,
I'll
it'd
kill
probably
it.
be a small snake. It'd probably be a small poisonous snake that would, come out of her sleeve and bite people.
That would actually you could make it coil around like a stick, and you'd have the medical symbol thing. That'd be pretty cool.
That's cool.
You could call the little guy Caduceus.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow. That's creative right there.
Yeah, there we go. Nailed it. All right.
I almost just made the worst snake pun.
Well, why stop
But
there?
yes.
Well, okay,
What's
so-
there?
so I was gonna say she could name it Hippocrates because of the Hippocratic oath.
But yeah, Matt, if I do take an animal, it will be a snake.
Fair enough.
You'd have to take like
Anaconda.
3 more levels in Ranger though. So.
I'm just letting you guys banter because I want to keep Amador in suspense.
Yeah, so do I perception roll?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I 23.
Okay. Easy enough. You zip right up into the tower, and the legs are actually lower on this one, so it's not that much of a jump anyway.
Why not
And
teleport.
well, jump as in teleport. To actually jump that high, you'd have to be probably 13 feet tall or something.
Or
Ah, it's-
Karagor.
Or Karagor. That's right. Karagor has the ups. So,
He does. He's
yeah,
got mad ups.
at least when he can grab, at least
He's
we
like
can
Air
bite
Bud.
somebody's shoulder on the other side. I meant to give you a lingering injury for that. That reminds me. We had the rules for lingering injuries, didn't we?
As you're trying to figure out how to get up there, Karagor walks by, looks at you, kind of snorts a little bit, and just jumps up.
He gets dazed by the lights. Karagor loses sanity.
Well, I said your shoulder healed up, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go back on that, I guess. All right,
Yeah, it's fine. I didn't expect it either way.
right. I mean, you did make a sacrifice to save the sole tank of the party, so.
I love how we're using Karagor as a tank
The only tank.
and a
I think
Hey.
torpedo.
the last tank you had died because she couldn't stop raging.
Yeah, you're right.
Yes. This
Hey,
is
my
true.
character-
She went
Character's-
down.
Tankish, sort of. He brings meat shields. We get in the way of the damage.
You're right. swim up there. Does it look the same as the last place?
No, not at all.
Oh, good.
You get up there and does Amadorn have any seafaring sort of background?
I mean, I could try to come up with some bullshit right now, but I'm just gonna say no.
No, I mean it'd be perfectly valid if he did. I don't think there's anything in his
I mean,
background that would preclude him from it.
He kind of comes from the north, and there's no sea up there. It's just kind of frozen.
It's ice. Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. There's a big parabolic mirror and a place for a fire to be built in the middle of it, and it appears to be set on a piece of stone that is circular, inlaid into the other pieces of stone.
Does this mirror point at one of the other towers?
No, it points due east. Not due east, but pretty close, and a little bit to the south.
Okay. Is there a window or a doorway in this room?
It's pretty wide open. There's a bunch of windows actually.
Okay. Is there like another balcony, or is it just this one room?
It looks like outside it's sort of a pitched roof.
So this mirror, can I move it, or is it like stuck in place?
Move it how?
Like turn it, spin it.
Yeah, you could turn it. You push it a little
Okay.
bit, and with just a small bit of effort, there's like a grinding of stones, and the mirror budges.
Okay. So can I direct the sunlight at the other tower, the one I was in?
Well, mm,
Or is the way the mirror works not quite that?
the sun's getting a little high in the sky for there to be any sort of direct sunlight. You could maybe catch a small little glimmer of something to point in that direction.
Okay. I try to do that. Like I try to get it through the doorway of the other tower, the one that faces this tower. 'Cause
Yeah.
that is a thing, right?
Yeah, you know, kind of like you would angle any sort of reflective light. You're able to sort of point it at the tower, but the angle of the light coming in from the sun at this point actually ends up pointing more at the ground in front of the tower. And because you're only rotating the mirror on one axis, there's no real way to get it to tilt
Yeah.
up.
And I can't just tilt it backwards, like so it goes up, right?
No, you can't.
And this is the only thing in the room?
Yeah, this is all that's there. I mean, there's actually a quiver with like 2 arrows in the corner.
And it looks old and unused, I assume?
No, it actually looks relatively recent.
Huh. Are they just like regular arrows and a regular quiver?
Yeah, you've seen similar workmanship on some of the halflings around the camp, so
Okay.
you might assume that somebody came up here for a little gander.
And there were no signs of people being there in the other tower, right?
No, there weren't.
Okay. But there wasn't dust on the floor or anything?
There was dust on the floor,
Oh, there was.
Yeah.
Okay.
but not like a lot of cobwebs or anything around the inlays and things.
So I need to come back to this tower when the sun, I can get more direct light, I assume. And that, it would be possible to kind of direct it at that tower at, say, sundown or sunrise.
Make an intelligence check.
Let's see. 2. I have absolutely no idea.
You're
I think
pretty
it's probably
sure.
the best to do it at midday.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be like 3:30. That would be a great time to come back here and angle this mirror back.
Oh god. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna take one final look around the tower and then I'll get down because it's obviously not working right now.
Sure.
I'll probably come back at 3:30.
Okay. Are you gonna head for the other tower in the meantime, or?
That's like that's where the meetings were, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, sure. Why not? I'm just gonna go straight up walk at it.
Okay.
If anyone tries to stop me, I'm just gonna talk to them.
The other halfling in charge, Carlisle, seems to notice you doing this, and he just kind of stands there and watches you, like doesn't seem to like he notices you like, well, make a perception check to do your teleport, I guess.
See, I don't know if I want to do that though.
Oh, do you want to?
Like, this is the third tower. Like, trying to get up into the third tower, right?
The one on the Central Mesa.
Yeah. Okay.
Do it. Do it.
How far away is he from me? Hold on. Do I even care?
How,
Yeah, I do care actually. How far away from me is he? Like, is he like next to me?
So he was looking over some. Well, he was writing in his journal, and he's kind of in the corner of the main area where they laid out a table and have the war room set up, if you will, and it's probably like 10 feet from the corner where the opening is, and he's probably 5 feet beyond that just in a chair with his feet up with his journal.
Oh man. You see, I did roll a 2, which usually means sensible decision. So I'm gonna walk over to him.
He tips his
say,
hat at you.
Is it afternoon or morning? Like right at midday right now.
It's probably like the late morning, 10:30, 11.
Morning, Carlisle. Do you know there is a hole in your tower?
He looks up. Yep, looks to be.
Have you been up there?
Not me personally. I don't know if any of our cadre has.
Are you not curious?
I'm always a little curious, but I don't know. I'm also a little afraid of heights, to be honest.
Have you been in any of the other towers? I assume not, since the whole afraid of heights thing.
He says, I'll refer you to my previous statement about heights.
Yeah, okay. Figured. Do you have a ladder?
I seem to have left it in my other pants.
Okay. Does he not like me, or is this just his attitude?
That's just his attitude. He seems to be
Okay.
kind of a... That
Okay,
just
I
seems
like
to be his
that.
way.
That's good. Well, I'm gonna try to get up there. Is that okay?
More power to you. This isn't our sovereign territory or anything, although we will defend it to our deaths. You seem to be friendly enough.
Okay, good. So I'm gonna go back under the tower and look up into the hole and attempt a perception check. And 14.
Awesome.
I mean, it passed a DC 10.
Yeah, you did. But you rolled a 2.
Yeah, but I have a plus 12.
Yeah, so you zip up, no problem. And it's the same deal as before. There's another parabolic mirror with a place to build a fire in the middle. And it seems to be kind of pointing northwest.
Northwest, okay. Probably should have built a fire in the other tower, Huh. So I'm gonna stick my head out the little hatch and say, "Hey, Carlisle."
He's looking up at you like he was staring right at the hole when you did that, and he's like, "How?"
You know there's a mirror up here, right?
So you say.
There's also a place for a fire.
Hello.
You mean
Welcome back.
a lighthouse?
That would make sense, yeah. I don't know why there's a lighthouse, but you have another one over on the other plateau.
He looks around. Gosh, you think this place was flooded at one time?
Wow, what a revelation. That is, that's probably better than what I would have come up with, if I'm being completely honest.
Maybe it was to guide people through the mist.
I mean, it does make sense that they're on plateaus and they're on stilts. Yeah, this probably was a lake.
So you
Huh.
think that you think the buildings down below came after or before? And what about the catacombs up there?
I don't know about the catacombs, but the buildings are definitely after, because unless you can breathe underwater.
He gives a
Um,
shrug.
I haven't personally tried, but I don't think I can. So these are, I don't know what these are here for, honestly. So you have 2 lighthouses and a flashy light room.
You're saying this to Carlisle?
Yeah.
The flashy
No,
what?
yeah. The third tower. It's
Which third tower?
the one that isn't on a plateau.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the only other tower around here. It's filled with a room, and there's a whole lot of metal, like engravings almost, in on the walls. I wouldn't go up there. It's pretty bright, but
What
I have no idea why
metal
these are here.
engravings? What kind of shit is that?
I have absolutely no idea. They kind of freaked me out, honestly.
He shrugs again.
So I'm gonna stop hanging my head out this hatch and explore. Is it the same as the second tower that I went into?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same. Windows and no quiver or anything.
Yeah. I do have flint and steel and 5 torches.
That's a start.
So the place for the fire, it's like it's kind of in front of the mirror, right? Like if there was light from the fire, it would go into the mirror and I could direct it places.
Yeah.
Okay, so this kind of feels like a lighthouse. Like 100% feels like a lighthouse.
Yeah.
Good. So I kind of want to get down from the tower now, but I don't really want to. How tall is this one? Like how high off the ground? If I just jumped out the hatch.
With a acrobatics save, you wouldn't take any damage. With an acrobatics check, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna do that then. I'm gonna jump out without building fire because there's no boats to steer away.
Okay.
32.
Yeah, easy enough. You kind of do a tumble roll as you hit the ground, and you're fine. Spring to your feet.
So he's sitting in a chair, or did he get up to look at me?
No, he's still sitting in the chair, feet up. He's lit his pipe by now though.
Okay. Is there another chair nearby?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna sit in it and bring it over next to him if it's not already there.
All right.
So, how long did you say you were here?
Oh, we've been here on and off for a month or so.
And the old man in the cave with you know, the eyes.
Yeah, him.
Yeah. How long has he been here?
Oh, well, he was traveling with us for a little while, and when we got here, he started acting a little funny. A couple weeks ago, yeah, I guess that's when about he sewed his eyes shut.
Oh, so it wasn't that long ago. Oh, okay, that's good. Did he? There was also a I went into the cave, and I talked with him. He's a very
He didn't
interesting
try and
guy.
bite you or anything, did he?
No, he offered me cheese. I ate it.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
I guess he squirreled some of that away. Great.
Yeah. There's also a
This
kid.
thieving blind old man.
Yeah, I don't know how he got that. There's also a kid who said something about. I don't know. It was kind of a creepy end times thing.
Could you say? Oh, you mean
Look up the name of the notes.
you mean one of them Garretts?
I would assume so if that's the family that's here.
Sure.
Yeah. Were they with you when you came, or were they here already?
No, they came with the well, not from the same place, but yeah, they came with us.
And are they acting normal now that you're here?
Look, I don't know what's normal anymore. Everyone's been acting a little funny, but
So it's what is Amadorn the one that knows
Yeah,
what normal is?
I don't know.
I mean, those kids always seemed a little off to me, but then again, you know, our Aisling seems a little off. You are disappearing, and I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe
no,
I'm losing my mind too.
I understand.
I don't
I
know if it's
understand.
this. I don't think it's this valley. A lot of us were kind of on edge before we got here.
Yeah, no, I could do that before too. I don't know how. I don't know why, but you know.
I had a close encounter with one of those riders.
Yeah,
It wasn't the one with
creepy,
the horns that you ran into. It was, well, it had a silvery face, like mirror for a face. Never
What
forget it.
face?
A mirror.
A mirror for her face.
It was on a spotted horse. He circled our group. No one tried to stop him. I stepped forward. He brought a lance down, knocked me clean off my pony.
And he just rode away.
Well, he was so fast. We reacted, and we lost a couple men. There wasn't a lot we could do. He harassed us. Some of us got injured. I was lucky that I just got knocked off my pony, but he was just too fast, and then just rode off.
That's kind of interesting. Is Vathic around here, or what was Vathic doing right now?
Vathic, I don't know. What did you do after
I mean, if I
talking
once
to
I
Ashley?
finished talking with Aisling, I would wandered around camp with Karagor.
Okay.
So I mean, if I happen to wander that way,
If you observe Amadorn having a conversation.
I mean, actually, yeah, that's a very good point. If I observe Amador talking to somebody, I'd probably go and investigate.
Okay. So you see Amadorn, and you're like, oh, zoop,
Yeah,
divert
me and-
course, and then
See Amador talking, and me and Karagor just kind of look at each other.
yeah, and you
I
catch
mean,
the
like-
tail end of Carlisle's story. Basically where he says, there were some injuries, and then he was just too fast, and he left.
I kind of give like a little bow and Carlisle, how goes it?
Skirmisher Lord, just fine.
I kind of like give like quickly like assess the situation that like nothing's on fire, he's not threatening Amadorn, anything, and like kind of give Amadorn a little bit of a nod and say, were you discussing some of your recent run-ins with these riders that Aisling mentioned?
Yep. I've encountered two of them. I think the horned one that you encountered, and this other mirror-faced fellow.
Mirror-faced. I mean, like quite literally, his face reflected what he was perceiving, or
Like a well-polished suit of plate mail or shield of some kind. Just
interesting.
right on the face. No eyes that I could perceive.
Interesting. Amadorn here actually had a run-in with the Horned Rider, charged right at him, leveled his lance, didn't run him through, looked at him and screamed in some god-awful banshee language, then just rode away.
That squares with what I heard, although the Horned Rider, I don't think had a lance. I think he had a sword.
Did he have a sword? I thought he had a lance.
Yeah, he had a sword.
Yeah, he leveled his sword right at him.
Did you like that subtle little correction?
I did, yes.
In character.
Well, as soon as we're healed up and well rested and ready to ride out, maybe we can finally teach these riders to their time is best spent elsewhere as opposed to harassing the patrols of Aishling's company here.
Yeah. What I gotta say is they're fast. Us on our ponies are no match for those big steeds, and
Yes, well, I'm sure that if the riders are anything at all like the creatures that we faced the other night, they are indeed fast, but his steed is what carries him so quickly. You take away the steed, and suddenly the advantage falls back into your hands.
as a
I
thought.
don't think so, considering they're halflings and have like 20 speed.
Well,
They have ponies.
They have ponies.
Friendship
Yeah.
is magic?
Exactly.
And they can bite his ankles so he can't run away.
Is that your only point of reference for ponies?
Yes.
Okay, so I quickly stand up from the seat. I kind of do it.
Vathic's head darts, like, just boom, right at you.
He, Carlisle seemed about to offer you like a swig of his flask, but then seeing you stand up, caps the flask and puts it away.
Oh. Oh, I was about to make another friend. Um, I just kind of give a little two-finger salute of Vathic, classic, and I say, "Thank you for talking to me. I have to go now," and I just kind of drag Vathic along with me.
I was gonna say I'd grab you and ask you where you're going, but this works. I kind of give a nod to Carlisle and say, if you need anything at all, Carlisle, feel free to ask. And I'm sure that we'll teach those riders not to mess with any more of you or your men.
He nods. He says, "Well, I'm interested to hear what your strategy is going to be on that one."
Did he say anything after I said take away the horse and the advantage is yours?
No.
Okay, I was gonna say, well, I mean the strategy. I mean, if I hope to be with you at this, or at least the next patrol when this rider makes his appearance. And I mean, to talk plainly, the plan was to shoot his horse in the fucking face, and then he's pretty much only as fast as a man, maybe a little faster.
He leans forward, taking his feet off of the crate that he was resting them on. Rests his elbows on his knees, kind of hunkers forward, squints at you. He says, "It's gonna be that easy, huh?"
Oh, never. I just find that being an optimist is one of the only things keeping me sane.
He also likes shooting horses in the face.
All right.
So I head away with Amador now.
Okay.
Um,
Go
so,
ahead.
have you ever wondered why there's like 3 towers in this valley, and there's 2 of them are on plateaus, and why they are made of different materials than the other houses? And
Watchtowers, perhaps, I would assume. We are in a basin here. They would need some kind of warning system or defense if they were attacked. It's defensible.
yeah, that's
Good,
what I
good
figured too.
shooting vantage point.
Have you ever tried to get up into the towers though?
No, I cannot say that I have.
No, and I haven't seen a ladder around here, and there's no stairs to get up. There's no kind of
Yep.
climbing rungs.
No, not at all. You've gone up there, haven't you?
Yes, I have. I've been up all 3. We'll get to the farthest away one soon. Don't, man. But these 2, and I point to the one I was just in, and the one on the other plateau, kind of feel like lighthouses. Why? I don't know. I assume there was water here, but I don't know what they'd be guarding.
Hey, Matt, real quick, like geography question: is the plateau that these towers are on, are they level with, like, is this right here like level with each other, or is one higher than the other?
More or less level.
Okay.
Give or take 5 or 10
Yeah.
feet.
Yeah,
Here or
nothing
there.
significant though.
Yeah.
Okay, so I kind of nod and say, well, it seems to be a little odd that they would put 2 so close together. A little bit of a weird position for them. If this was all underwater, that base, up there, and I kind of point to like where the edge of the outer basin is, and say it would also have to be underwater, I imagine, which would make these lighthouses awkwardly positioned, but perhaps yes.
Yeah. So there's what you'd expect from a lighthouse, right? There's a place for a fire and a mirror to direct the light. But the third tower is not a lighthouse. I don't know what it is. I went up there. I was almost blinded by the reflections of these walls.
Mm-hmm.
They, I don't know why they're there. I don't know what the walls mean. I can't read anything off of them. I can't understand anything. But they're pretty blinding, and it seems like they change throughout the day. I don't know what it means.
And are these two towers, and I point to these two, are they pointing? Are their mirrors pointed in such a way that the fire would reflect the light into this third tower that you were in?
Yeah, uh, they can do that. I haven't tried it, but because it's honestly, I don't know what's gonna happen, if anything at all.
Yes,
But
very true. Discretion is the better part of not always your field, my friend.
But I suggest if we try it, we should try it at night because then the reflection from the sunlight wouldn't do anything because there is no sun.
That is true, yes. At least so far, there is no sun at night. As far as my rudimentary, would we have a word for like? No, okay, that I guess like the
Logic,
study of
reasoning.
my rudimentary reasoning tells me. I'm not
At
sure.
least
I
for
mean,
now.
if this is for now, yes. I mean, if you sincerely are, so vexed by this, I mean, feel free. I don't see how it could. No, wait. I say that we wait until we get our, the first couple steps of our little, mission here underway. Because if they're signal towers, it means that they're meant to signal something. And I don't know if you've realized this yet, my friend, as you are not the most mentally stable of all of us, and I love you for it. But most things that we've found, I've had to kill because they want to kill us. So statistically speaking, whatever you signal actually has a larger possibility of wanting us dead than being friendly. This here, and he kind of like motions around to the halflings, an anomaly. This I cannot remember the last time that we were in such a large group of people and not actively being trying. Our lives were not actively being threatened.
That is a fair point. One last thing. Have you met the old guy in the cave with his eyes that are sewn shut?
That is, when people tell me that my title is sometimes a mouthful. No, I have not met whatever Mr. Old Guy in Cave with eyes sewn shut. Is he a friend of yours?
I guess you could call him that. You should probably go talk to him. Because you'd figure out things a lot better than I could.
Thank you, question mark. I have nothing better to do with my day, so I may as well. What are you going to be doing for the rest of the day, Amadorn?
Oh, I'm just gonna be sitting around. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I might do some jumping jacks.
Alright, so right about midday, Ashley and Carlisle suggest that you'll have lunch together.
Wait,
I
all of them?
oblige
They're
Ashley
inviting
and
the crazy
Carlisle.
guy too?
What's that?
They're inviting the crazy guy too?
You?
Yes, you're coming.
Yeah, me.
Well, you were at the meeting last night, so.
I guess you're right.
And they say, well, so we've sent a couple of riders out attempting to ascertain our quarry's location. Ideally, we'd like to bag all three of these things, but we're going to attempt to bag one of them tonight. curious to hear what our thoughts are on strategy. This is Aisling talking.
So, well, do we know which one? Wait, which three? Wait, have we heard of a third? There's a mirror face, horn helmet.
You haven't heard the details on the third, no.
Okay, so yeah, who would we have, heard of or run into the mirror faced rider and the horn helmet rider? Who's this third one?
Oh, the third one, well, we've only seen from a distance. Third one, we call the Black Rider because he rides a black horse and seems to delight in, we think it carries a crossbow, and has hit us from quite a distance with it.
Okay, so
Sniper duel.
so in game, I have a target. Meta knowledge, I know which one you're sending after me, Matt. He specializes in killing our archers. It's quite a feat, I tell you.
I kind of whisper to Vathek, if we get the horned guy, I really, really want his headpiece.
We can dole out trophies after we finish the hunt. That's generally how it goes.
I call
do we-
dibs though.
so
It's
yes, that's
largely open. Sorry. Go on.
no. It's not what you're gonna say.
It's largely open fields, not a lot of tree cover or anything like that around here, right? Some hills, but
It's mostly hills, yes. There's not a lot of tree cover. Some underbrush.
large hills or
Rolling hills. They can.
like mountain foothills or
You're in the
Kettle
foothills of the
Moraine.
mountains, but as you go south and east, where the riders have been, it's I would say probably if they crest 200 feet, it's a rarity.
So, do we know by chance which one we'll be able to go after?
Aisling says, "Well, that's why we sent the riders out to see who we might find. It might be until later in the evening when we can get a fix on one of them. As we said, we've never seen them outside of nighttime hours."
Say, well, as far as strategy goes, I would maintain, I said earlier, their greatest boon, one of their greatest boons are their steeds. And if we remove that, it allows your riders to harry them relatively uninterrupted with hit and run tactics. We should account for the fact that they may have an escort or a following of some of the creatures that you saw us slay the other night.
another issue is that they sound quite powerful, and we would need to engage them with a force large enough to handle them, but not large enough to scare them away. If they know fear, even.
Oh, there's a difference between fear and tactical awareness. They may know they may run from us not out of fear, but out of the fact that 1 against 2 dozen is not favorable odds for anyone.
Aisling says, "Well, let me float this idea. There is a gully not too far to the east. Take us a couple of hours to get there. If we could somehow lure one of them down into the gully, there is a small hollow that we could hide maybe a dozen of our riders in. Especially if we were to spend a little time pulling some brush around it."
I don't know about you guys, but I can be bait. I'm the fastest of the group. And in meta, I mean, I have mobility.
Potentially.
I was
am the
just
only-
about to ask who was going to be bait.
Say I am the only. Well, I'd say that in that category comes down to Dura, myself, or Amadorn footed. On foot, Dura is the most mobile. I am the only one of the 3 of us with a steed. I'm not gonna pack I guess Caragor wouldn't fit in the building. Never mind. And I say, yeah, and Amadorn has had a close encounter with the horned rider. I don't know if he has marked him in some way.
Also, Amadorn has a mobility all of his own.
It's true.
True.
That is
Yes.
true.
And all of the heads in the room turn to look at Amadorn.
Amadorn shrinks in.
Carlisle chimes in.
Embarrassed.
I've seen it. It's impressive.
I pat Amadorn on the arm and said, "Don't worry, I can take this if you don't want to be bait."
I mean, as Vethik said, if he marked me, that means I'm all that much better to be bait. I don't mind.
So, yeah, not to worry. It's not as if you'll be going out there alone.
Oh no, of course
As you
not.
saw, Caragor can clear quite the distance in a short amount of time, and you will be within range that I can, should he charge, I can at least give you cover and fire.
Aisling eyes Caragor and says, "Do you think Caragor might have scared it off the first time?"
The first time I do not believe so. You see, when it ran at Amadorn, it did not turn away out of fear. It easily could have killed him if it wanted to. It rode up as if it was going to attack. Did it knock you over, Amadorn?
No,
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
I was running like hell.
Yeah. It made a full, its form was that of somebody who was about to, charge, a knight charging a footman. And as soon as it got within range, it stopped, pointed its sword at Amadorn as if it was issuing a challenge or yelling or, reprimanding even. Bellowed out an ungodly cry, turned around and sauntered off, as if it had not a care in the world.
There's an odd thing about these creatures. Do we suspect they're Imoteran, like the banshees and other corrupted beings?
Aisling clears her throat. Yeah, we suspect they're Inotron in origin.
Because they're the only ones we've encountered so far that I'm aware of that aren't bloodthirsty killing machines that can think of nothing else, seemingly.
Well, before you joined our party, my friend, we have had encountered with two others, and both were in much the same position as this other one. One potentially we could have bested it in combat. It would have been hard in a difficult battle, but the other, we ran into a male in an ancient ruin. And he had many thralls with him, and if he chose to, he probably could have killed a few, if not all of us, before we brought him down. And he seemed not bothered with us. He'd shoot us away as he would, as you might a rat.
Carlisle
Curious.
clears his throat as well and looks between all of you. I feel Vig maybe has not been keeping you up to speed. I feel there are a few Inoternum at work here.
I would agree with that. We ourselves have run into a few.
No, you see, the Inoternum are the higher echelon. They're the gods that we look to bring low by smiting their chosen ones, the Inotron.
And is that what we believe these riders to be, their chosen ones?
Well, the reason I say there are a few in play here is we think they manifest differently. we think Medioknife is the Inoternum that is responsible for these riders. The Lonlinari are more associated with Kalametra. I'll type those names out for you if you're...
Yeah, thank you. Nods there. As formidable as they be, I see no reason that we could not, if we follow through this plan of ambush, we cannot bring one down. Bring one down, we can bring the others down.
Yeah, I think it's the beginnings of a solid plan. I think we need to determine what our bait is going to be in a bit more definitive fashion, and what we're going to be hiding in the hollow nearby if we're going to use this gully, as Aisling suggests.
It does sound like a sound plan. We should also assume, the worst in case it does show up with the creatures. How to divvy up our forces to deal with both the rider and the horsemen.
Yeah, we've dealt with a handful of them, and by dealt with, I mean not 100% certain we've killed any of them, but I've encountered them a few times. But they're certainly more rare than riders. It's disconcerting that you encountered so many, but certainly heartening to hear that you managed to dispatch them.
Definitely formidable, but far from unkillable. Matt, did we kill 4 or 5 of them? I can't remember.
You killed 3 of them, 4 of them.
There was the archer and the guy who was running at us, and then
and then
two
okay, yeah, and then
ambushers.
yeah, 2. Okay, so it was 4.
Yep.
So I nod in agreement. So I do believe that as far as the bait goes, as we said, Amador may be our best bet here.
All right.
Both for his previous contact and as well as his ability to escape scenarios that he really has no right to, and I kind of give him a look.
All right. So we'll call the meeting there. Was there any other business that you guys want to wrap up before the evening hours commence and you start your hunt for one of these things?
I would pick up some more arrows if I could.
Okay. Well,
because the guy was making them, so like if I catch
Yep.
him, I would pay him some gold
Yep.
to just make them longer.
okay. Yeah, for a couple of gold, he'll completely restock you.
Okay, I give him a couple. You know what? I give him 3 gold. I give him a couple plus 1.
There you go.
I am going to bring tinder and brush and sticks up to the 2 mirror towers
Okay.
in preparation.
All right.
If I see you doing this, I remind you that we agreed to wait until.
I nod and I just say, just getting ready.
Okay.
There are a few sentences that terrify me more than that one coming from you, my friend.
All right. It's about 11. I think that's probably a good place to call it. Do you guys want to play any duck game or anything?
I may end up piecing out because I have to be at work for 7 tomorrow because I apparently pissed my boss off somehow.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, it sucks. But I would be up like maybe for later this week to like do some stuff maybe.
All right.
Me, I'm kind of recovering from the flu, so I'm tired.
Ah, boo. All right.
But
I'd be up for it tomorrow if you want to play.
Tomorrow, maybe not. Tomorrow's usually date night with the wife, so. All right. What's that?
She can play duck game with us.
That's true. I should set her up with duck game.
Or mount your friends.
You guys,
The
oh come on,
ultimate romantic
you guys don't have a round of mount your friends in you?
I really don't. I'm fucking tired.
All right.
I don't think you understand how much of a not morning person I am.
Fine. All right. Good night.